All right, people, buckle up because this McGrath student drama has gone from heated to straight up explosive since my last video. Now, I thought we'd be wrapping up things with a little neat update from the Ministry of Education, which we got, but nope. Things have spiraled and things are only getting hotter. And here's the twist. A parent from the school has jumped into the spotlight with a lot to say about this young man. But get this, I completely disagree with her. And honestly, I think she should be charged. Yeah, you heard that right. Now, stay tuned because you definitely don't want to miss this one. Welcome back to Real Talk. All right, people, so let's get into this because things have gone completely off the rails since my last video. I mean, we talked about, in my last video about the McGrath high student, the one who protested about the school's here grooming rules or grooming policy. And I basically made my stance very clear that rules are rules and they're there to create structure for our children and for our society. Now, if you missed that episode, I highly recommend watching it first before you watch this video. So I want you to pause this video right now. Go watch the video before this one, then come back because trust me, without that context of that video, your emotions might be all over the place for what I'm about to say and leave you with very, very strong opinions. Right? Now, since that episode, things have escalated and really not in a good way. Now, a parent from the school decided to jump into the conversation, sharing her personal experiences with this student. Now, I don't know how she has personal experiences with him. I mean, you might slightly do because you drop your child off and pick it up because I'm sure you're not in school, experiencing this for yourself. If you are, you're basically getting all of this through hearsay because clearly you unless you're volunteering at the school or something to be there to actually see all this and know all this about this child, most of this is just clear speculations. Right. She even went as far as to release, multiple videos and host TikTok lives under the name It's Thikiana, which I think is her TikTok handle or whatever. She basically is claiming that the boy stole her daughter's phone and describing his behavior at school. But here's where it really gets a bit wild. As much as I agree with some of her points, her approach, completely unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. And honestly, I think she should be held accountable. Now, let's take a look at some of what she had to say on her TikTok videos and probably on her lives. Let's take a look.
Anyway, McGrath school and the little soon to be dirty corner boy where me see Bina go viral over here. And some of who parents Bina take him side over here. What who no know all of me, all of uno. Little boy, when I did thief my daughter phone and take it and fling it away when you see me did they come for it. Why you never did come out here and come make videos and come talk about McGrath school? And from them time the McGrath school should have been get rid of you out of the school. But you see where it all cost now. And it's surprising to me that me no understand how picky can go to school and disrupt class, disrespect teacher and abuse and bully other people's kids. And when the school tends to get rid of them and take discipline action against him can come on TikTok and hopping out in big mouth and the whole who no come support him. Let me tell you something. Uno same parents sometime and who no cause all of these children to go to school and behave that. The little nanny buck head boy should have been left McGrath school from long time because you see that little boy there, what who no know how long who know. When him in a class, no other heads people picnic can learn. And teacher cannot teach class when that little boy is attending class because him from a gang in a McGrath school. And him claim to say, and him a run the school just like how him a run him mama and him papa. Him papa they overseas a work hard and him mama there. And him mama can't control him, nor rule him. And him go to the people, them school and farm gang. If me never did turn up chunk on my foot, my picnic did have to stop go to school say that same little boy they thief other people picnic things, and me have experience with him along with a lot more parents. I just threw them in a ball enough to come out, come talk. So me can't talk about him. Me can't talk about him because me know how him behave. I am a parent of McGrath school, so me know how him behave and me know the challenges them what they have. And Mr. Mighty, me yesterday tell him to go suck him mama. Big up you. Big up you for tell him to go suck him mama and send him out to your class.
In my last video, I said this story grieved me. Well, you see, this right here, this absolutely infuriates me to my core. Why did she have to be the one to come forward and speak? Why? Why? Her actions didn't help. They made things worse. Especially with the fact that you speaking out is almost like you speaking on behalf of us as parents and we're agreeing with you and we actually don't. Like, which normal, natural parent in the world will actually agree with the things that you had to say? You know? Now, in the video, you made some very valid points about the fact that he stole the phone, you know, his behavior in school and what the teachers have been experiencing with him and how his behavior disrupts other children from learning. All valid points. All valid points. Right? And I saw and was able to come to a conclusion of this child with those same points that you made based off his TikTok videos. And sure, no one would disagree with the type of child we are dealing with. But you see, the minute you started that video with the statement, "Little dirty corner boy," your aura points dropped by 70%. Dropped by 70%. Because from there, I could see where this video was heading. I know you were gonna have some valid points that needed to be said, but you threw away everything when you started to disgrace yourself. I do not care what this child did. You hear what I said? Child, not adult. Child. I don't care what this child has done. You have no right to be addressing this young man like this. He could have stolen a phone, a car, a goat. I don't care. Get into fight. I do not care. This is not his fault, but our fault. It is a society fault. This is a child whose brain is underdeveloped and is living by what he learns. And you feel you have the right to disgrace him? You are the prime example of the type of people he's growing up around, why he behaves this way. You are the prime example. You believe this child is a disgrace to society? No, darling. You are a disgrace to society because you're a grown adult who strongly believes that your words in this video is acceptable. You believe talking to this child this way is acceptable. This is how you would want somebody to be speaking to your child if they did something wrong. This is how you would like somebody to be calling you and disgracing your child if your child did something wrong. You're not helping this situation in any way, shape, or form. You are a disgrace to adulthood and parenthood. Complete disgrace. According to you, if the little boy has formed a gang, disrupt classes, disrespect teachers, which I'm not disagreeing with because I'm not saying that he did or didn't doing that, but to be honest, it's leaning to that he probably is. Because based on, my review so far of the students TikTok and all of these things, these allegations could possibly actually be true. Right? What have you done to help? What have you done to help? You know all this and what you have all this and what have you done? All of this happened and you haven't shown what you have done to help. It takes a village to raise a child. Parents, family members, friends, neighbors, teachers, doctors, taxi drivers, bus driver, the whole damn village. What did you do to help? What did you do to help? Why didn't you use your same platform, that you used to chastise and disgrace this little boy? Come on here and say, hey, TikTok, as a parent of McGrath High, I have been observing a couple of things with, some of the students at the school, who I think probably are on the wrong path and they need a little guidance, and I probably would like us to come together and see if we can suggest or start a program where, all the school, all the parents, get the ministry involved and we'll come together to see how we can actually help these students. But instead, you come on here, or we, because other people do it too, come on the media and we do these videos and we'll chastise or disgrace people for views. Because clearly on TikTok, most people enjoy the mix-up and the rare behavior. Everybody wants to enter people's business and chat and go on and say, and the rare behavior. And no. And then we're going to sit on, when we're ready now and we'll see what kids behave in a certain way, we're going to sit there and judge our children. We are the problem. We are the problem. We is the problem. And let's not overlook the part where you allegedly, that's not allegedly, where you actually supported a teacher in your video who allegedly the teacher told this boy to go and ask his mother. If that's true, that teacher needs to be investigated and suspended, as a matter of fact. Because let me make this clear. Authority figures are supposed to lead by example, not stoop to the level of immature exchanges with students. They're supposed to be leading by example. Why are you stooping to a child whose brain is half developed or underdeveloped? Why would you stoop to that level? I would really like to know if this teacher really did that, and you as the parent who came out and made this video, what are you really? Who are you? Are you human? Really, are you human? Again, I do not care what this child would have said to that teacher or what exchange they had. But if this really happened, the teacher has no right to tell a student that. And he should be investigated and suspended. Because he is not helping the problem. You see, as long as that child is not laying hands on that teacher for him to defend himself, which is the only time I would give the right, then he has no damn right. Again, he is now a part of the problem. That teacher is a part of the problem, just like the parent. Teachers are in charge at school, and these little things we are fighting about for rules to change, and kids come out and saying rules to change, and we are here supporting it and actually not playing our roles in, is why our children behave the way they do. This is why our children behave the way they do, and all of this unnecessary stress fall on our teachers, and we expect them to move the world and move mountains. But teachers are giving up now. Teachers are giving up now. Now you mentioned now that this young boy stole your daughter's phone and you had to go get it back. Now, I sat on this little boy's live recently and listened to him recount that story of what happened. Let's take a look here.
2 days after that, guys, remember, this story was 2 to 3 years ago. When me at phone did that charge, me in a chemistry class. The girl phone did a charge. Me take up the girl phone, carry it down I bathroom, and hide the back of the toilet. And so me basically thief the girl phone. 2 and 2 me there me yard but after 7 in a day, but 7 in the afternoon after I come from school. Driving come, me never there my yard, me there my friend yard. Me a car drive in a yard. But 6 man come in a yard. 6 man come in a yard. Me hear the lady that said lady there, ball out. Somebody here go McGrath. Me take the phone. Every single time I hear that, I find out say how they find out say me take the phone. So me take the phone, carry on her back door and fling the phone over one bush. Now, them come on me yard, chat up them out, come with be a badness at all, say them are going to kill me. They fling my phone and say which party phone they. They send me to go look for your phone. The same time they send me to go look for your phone, the man who did it where did that basically defend me because him. The man defend me because he said he ran because they did have gun. Mind you, they have gun. People have gun. About 2 of them, and if I 2 of them, I had 3 of them, but they did have gun. And then call me out. After that, I grew on there, they say me to go look for your phone. Me I grew on there, and the man there where in a yard, where defend me and protect me, which is in brother the panel life now because I throw the in a house. 2 sons and 1 mother. 2 of them are big man. Then after that, then some go look for your phone, so then carry me on if you go look for your phone. One of them man they hold on for me and put the gun on my side and say, oh, look here. One look out. First me I see one gun so small. First me I see one gun so small. I swear. One gun and the man put it on my side and about look here. And when I brother then hold on for me and jab me and say, oh brother, where you do dog? I look up boy now, look up boy phone and kill him on our phone. I see and say man say. Then the man say, you're lucky, you know. Bear in mind. And that same lady there we make the video. We make the video. And she is same one.
All right, now according to this video, or to this little boy here, he stole this phone, or your daughter's phone, 2 to 3 years ago. This incident happened 2 to 3 years ago, right? Now, every parent would be real mad. Any parent would be real mad and angry about this situation. I mean, come on. Which parent wouldn't? You spend your hard-earned money to buy your child a phone only for the owner to come take it? Anybody would be angry. Anybody would be angry. Anybody would be mad about that. But according to this young man, you came with men to the house that he was at after he stole the phone, because he did admit that he stole the phone, right? Came to the house that he was at with gunmen to retrieve the phone. And the fact that they have the gun pointed at him at one point in time, right? To get back a phone. And you believe you are not the problem and not the child? You believe he's the problem and not you are the problem? I mean, this whole focus could have been kept on the little boy with this thing, with the whole, rules changing and whatever. All of this focus could have been kept on this little boy so that we could actually teach him the right lesson. But now we have to be focusing on you, the parent, to defend the actual little boy from you. And you know what? I believe him. I believe his story that those men did come there with you. I believe him. When you hear someone says, she has a video on her page of what the situation when it went down, even though you're not seeing anything but hearing what is happening, he's telling the truth. When you hear people willing for dish out and say, hey, I have proof, here's proof, da. What's the other thing but to just believe them? There's proof. He even at one point on his life, and I saw all this that I'm saying, I saw it for myself. This is not based on hearsay or a screenshot of anything that anybody did. He even at one point on his life had one of his friends come on to also recount the story, which was basically word for word. They were saying basically the same thing. And based on the fact that he was on a live, there was no way they could sit together and come up with a story to tell each other or text each other to say, hey, make sure you say this, make sure you say that. That's not what happened. So I strongly believe them. I believe these children. And with that said, I am now calling for the JCF, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, to go and investigate this matter with this lady and arrest her if that's the case. Arrest her and the people who did this to that little boy. And if anybody has downloaded that video of the encounter, because to be honest, I have not seen it. I don't need to see it because I already believe him. So if anybody had downloaded this video of the encounter, I would strongly suggest that you submit that to the police. And this again shows how people do not care, because you are doing these encounters. You went for this little boy at the house with gunmen. And even though there's not an actual video of seeing things, you're only seeing people's feet, you recorded it and you posted it online. This is where we are as a society. Everybody needs to know everything on social media. Everybody needs to this, and this involves a minor. Like, is this how criminals want fame? Like, so bad? This is what is showing us that criminals want. If you want to be famous, don't be a criminal. Like, it's not gonna last long. It's really not gonna last long. Because if you look at this another way, what if this little boy had a family who had gunmen, or he knew gunmen as well, and they decided to come back for you? Or even worse, come back for your children. And when our children get killed, we ask, why would anyone want to hurt my child? Why would anybody do this? Why would anybody do that? Only to get an understanding that is because of your sins why your child end up in that predicament. You need to be investigated and arrested if that after the investigation everything proves to be true. And I mean right now. The situation could have been handled differently. It could have been handled differently. Instead of going to find those gunmen to cover that little boy, why didn't you report it to the police and have them handle it? Because I am sure that if you told them you knew where he is at this moment, if the police had a police vehicle there, and I'm being very specific about this because I know how the department can slack off because of no vehicles or no whatever it is that they're short on, right? I know for a fact if there's a vehicle and after you've completed that report, they would have taken you there immediately to handle the situation. That I am completely sure of. But no, gunman it was. And then you feel you have the right to come and criticize this boy's behavior. You are the problem. You are a part of the problem that is contributing to why these boys behave and act the way they do. Because as a young man or a young person who really does not understand, fully how the world works, might probably say, what may I go do is either become a gunman. Because for them brain are fully developing and they don't really understand how the world works, But because of what you did to him, they're going to say, I'm going to become a gunman. Or I'm going to protect myself with gunmen. I'm going to make sure someone gets some gunman friend. So that nobody can ever step to me the way how you did. Think about it. You would have just literally put your own life in danger, your children's life in danger, and probably other people's life as well. Because when the gunman them come for them, you don't know when or where and who's going to get hurt. As a woman, as an adult, you are the menace to society. And you need to be held accountable for your actions. That young man has his whole life ahead of him. Right? Him have him whole life ahead of him. And he deserves a chance to make up for his mistakes with the necessary and the right guidance. He deserves that. Because if he does not, here will be another young man will have grown up. Right? We will have this man we will have to be protecting ourselves from. Protecting our children and grandchildren and from this young man, either relationship wise, gunman wise, and all the other problems that we're currently facing right now in Jamaica. just because of the wrong thing that we did with this little boy today in society. And you see, for everybody who, out there who stood beside this woman or with her, you're despicable. You are despicable. I can understand you maybe stand with her because of what she had to say, but that's not how you deal with things. So you're despicable, and you guys are also part of the problem. Because even while she was on her live, sending tricks.
You can't see me as something to me. You can't see me as step to me. You can't see me even look for me now. Make me feel like so now look for me. You can't see me. See me and step to me and prove a point. All I know we are chat. See me, step to me, prove a point. If you don't like what me say, prove a point. Because I can't tell you say I know me alone I go down. You all I know they go down. Any wish part in the day, you go get dig up and root out. And I go underground too. You never know. I'm afraid I don't know. You have something over me? Yeah, Nicki Minaj know them. Nicki Minaj know. You not somebody? You not somebody? Nicki Minaj know. You not somebody? Come here, weapon we farm against Uno. Me a weapon we farm against Uno. All Uno. And if me never have people around me, where them know so they not fi around, my daughter would have left school. I'm afraid to go to blood class school say him and him people, him and him gang. You no can't cancel me. I mean name cantangerous. You no forget. I mean name cantangerous over this. Me not afraid of no boy, no girl. No, not too big for me talk my mind and talk about. No. What else am I gonna do? You don't understand me, dark.
All of you just stood there and support all of this. So all of you are despicable. I honestly believe that the JCF and, other entities are not doing enough to fight crime, because these are the people that they should have on surveillance. These are the people they should have on surveillance, because I can guarantee you would be surprised to what you find. You will be so surprised to what you find out with these type of surveillance on these type of people. So let me just make this clear where I stand. This parent and anyone who stood by her behavior need to be held accountable. The JCF should investigate this situation thoroughly. And if the evidence holds, there should be consequences. As for the boy, that young man, he needs guidance, not disgrace. He does not need disgrace. He needs guidance. And with the right support, he can turn his life around. I strongly believe he can. I strongly believe if we come together as a society, as a people, and help this child and so many others that are out there that are actually going through this, behaving like this, trust me, we will see such a major change. If we could just take the focus off ourself for a moment, stop being selfish and actually focus on our kids, trust me. All right, so I quickly just want to get into some of the comments from episode past, which is the episode before this, and I told you guys that you needed to watch before you come to the end of this video to see what you guys had to say about this topic. Now, I want to take a look at some that I've responded to while I take a look at some that I didn't. Is this Ava McLean 6790 said, I would like to see every student's haircut in the school. I see nothing wrong with the haircut of those two students. What if the money is for food instead of haircuts? What do you know about his background? Yes, you're making assumptions. Not everyone graduates with honors, and you don't. And I don't know. You and I don't know this young man. All right. So, Ava, I understand where you're coming from, but I think you misinterpreted the previous video. I made no assumptions. I made observations. I made no assumptions. I made observations. You have to understand, there are rules in place for a reason. We had to follow them and we came out okay. This is hair. I mean, there are other things that we need to discuss, but we're talking about this particular subject. This is hair. Hair grows back. And if you don't have teaching children with their underdeveloped minds at this point in time to say, hey, you know what, let's just follow the rules, and then you will understand. Because when you get older, this boy is 16, he's going to be 18 soon. You can grow your hair as high as you want, as long as you want. But then he's going to come to the realization that if he wants a corporate job or a job, he's going to have to do something to his hair, and he's going to have to follow the rules and the policies of the company that he's going to work for. And even if you're not going to work for somebody, trust me, there are rules in everything that you do every day. So yeah, I mean, you have to take that into consideration. TVOIAJA says, you know, a lot of these rules were put in place for slaves. Anyone who defy these rules, that's a proof to the system, that's a rebellious one, which is true. That is not a lie. You know, she said, I like the channel. These contents are needed, very peaceful, and dealing with the topic that most people are shying away from. We have to talk about these things, because I realize that every time I'm on my social media, all I'm seeing is these things, people talking about, you know, all the popular YouTubers or the popular TikTokers, all of their drama and this and that. And everybody's just, yeah, and everybody's pushing this and pushing that, but nobody wants to talk about the truth. Everybody wants to hide behind it. And I welcome all of you guys' views. Don't ever, I welcome to hear your opinion. Not all opinions are valid, but I'm open to hearing your opinion. I want you guys to agree or disagree with me, because we are from all different type of walks of life, and I want to hear what you guys actually have to say about, you know, situations that are happening in our society. You know, who's this? So this says, Jav Stimson, trick is indeed the correct term, because you're right. Not all opinions are valid. And I strongly believe we ought to be careful about how we criticize the rules of schools, especially in a society that tends to find a way to go against rules regardless of what the rules are. It's sad that people keep deceiving our children into believing that the rules they are faced with are optional, and not too long after, when they become adults, they realize the rules are absolutely necessary and present in every part of society. Even criminals have rules they enforce. Why are we of the view that we can operate without rules? It saddens me that we, the adults of today, are just as lost as the children we are expected to guide. I like your perspective shared. Keep the real talk. Keep the talk real. All right. Thanks, Jav Simpson. I do agree completely 100% with you. We had rules growing up as children. We had to follow them. We couldn't like them a little more. We had to follow them. So I don't know why, now that we're adults, we're backing kids right here. And this is why the kids are behaving the way that they're behaving now, because we as the adults are backing them. So they think they're doing something great. They think they're doing something right. And you're not understanding that depending on where and how this child is grown, the mentality they have, the way they think, the way they act, the way they dress, the way it has everything to do with how they handle situations. And if you're gonna have a child like this that behaves the way he behaves, and allow him to feel like, oh, I can come and speak on social media and you guys change everything, then he's gonna feel like, you know, if something is wrong, I can actually come on some social media and say, hey guys, so this is wrong, you can do this, and we're all just gonna conform to it. We're just gonna conform to it, and that's gonna be that. You know, so we got to be very careful about these things, and, you know, be very mindful as adults on how we handle situations like this. All right. So thanks for everyone for joining the show. Remember, we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Most of you who watch this show are not subscribed. Like, what are you doing? Why aren't you subscribed? So just look below, right down there, and hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you know when I post, and continue to support this channel. See you guys in the next video.